There was a magical time, a time when we didn't need much to be happy, where the neighborhood was not just a place where we lived. It was our second home, an extension of our childhood, a world full of friends, secrets, and adventures that today live only in our memories. Do you remember the mornings in the neighborhood, when the rooster crowed before the alarm clock, and the street was already alive with the first screams of children? We got up without anyone telling us, as if the street called us. A ball, a rope, or a soda cap were enough to start the day, and we all went out as if it were a party. There were no cell phones, but there was a language between us made of looks, whistles, and screams from the corner. The sidewalks were our living rooms, the neighbors, our adoptive uncles, and the gentleman with the ice cream cart. How can we forget him? That sound of bells was more powerful than any fashionable song. We ran like crazy with what we had in our pockets, even if it was just to see if he gave us confidence. And if it wasn't enough for everyone, we shared the ice cream between three. The rules of the neighborhood were clear. If you broke a window playing ball, you and your friends would run as if they had robbed a bank. If someone fell, he got up with dirt on his face but without crying. And if you got home late, you knew that the flip-flop was waiting for you at the door. But still, every day was a new chapter. We didn't need parks or shopping centers. Everything we needed was there. The mysterious alley, the abandoned house, the usual corner. And at night, the nights in the neighborhood, with weak lanterns but enough to see the shadows play. The adults talked on the sidewalks, the grandmothers told scary stories, and we listened believing they were real. In the background you can hear a radio with old music, and the smell of coffee and bread was the best closure for the day. Today, everything has changed. The streets are no longer the same. Children play on screens, not on the ground. Many of those friends are no longer there, and we grew up. But inside us, the neighborhood is still there, waiting for us to remember it. Because the neighborhood was not just houses and streets. The neighborhood was joy. It was family. It was freedom. It was our first school of life. And that's why the neighborhood we live in is the neighborhood we never forget. But do you know what the most curious thing about all this is? That in that neighborhood we learned more than anywhere else. We learned what true friendship is, the loyalty that was shown by sharing a loaf, solidarity when someone fell, patience when you had to wait your turn to play. We learned to resolve conflicts without social networks, to look into the eyes, to ask for forgiveness, to laugh at our own clumsiness, and to invent worlds with an empty box or an old sheet. The neighborhood taught us to be strong, because you had to defend yours, but also know when to shut up, when to share, when to hug. And although we grew up and took different paths, every time life gives us a blow, we return in silence to that place, that alley, that corner, that mom's voice calling us from the window. Because there, in that piece of land, a part of our heart was sown. Do you remember when an old bicycle and a free afternoon were enough to feel like you were flying? Or when everyone knew your name and that of your parents? Today we live with more comforts, more technology, more of everything. But what about the soul? Where do we leave that simple joy, that freedom from before? And times change. But the lived, that is not erased. He marked us, he built us, and that's why today more than ever, I invite you to close your eyes and come back. Go back to the neighborhood, to your childhood, to your essence. Even if it's for a moment, because there, among the games, the screams, the laughter, and the silences, you were really happy, although maybe you didn't know it at that time. The neighborhood was more than a place.